Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There's brand new music from Black Star Riders. It's called Riding Out the Storm from their upcoming album Wrong Side of Paradise. And with us today, we want to welcome back lead vocalist and guitarist Ricky-Warwick. Welcome back to the Revival, Ricky.
Hey, good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you know, with Wrong Side of Paradise, it's the first release from Black Star Riders since 2019's Another State of Grace. Lots happened in the world since 2019. Did you find it easy to come up with subject matter for this album?
Yeah, you know, there was plenty going on to write about, or not, as the case may be. Yeah, you know, funnily enough, most of the songs were written prior to the pandemic. Started writing about end of 2019, beginning of 2020, before we went into lockdown. You know, a couple of tunes were written during that time, but the guts of the album was written prior to us all going into lockdown, and then we were just tweaking the demos and stuff like that during that period to when we could all get together and actually record the album, which wasn't until fall of 2021.
So your tour for the fourth album, Another State of Grace, got cut short due to COVID. Did you guys get stranded somewhere, or?
No. The record came out, I think, end of September 2019, and we hit the road in Europe straight away, and we were out for just over about 7 weeks, and we got back end of November, and then we were going to break for the holidays, and then pick things up again in 2020 and tour, Europe and do the festivals and all that kind of stuff in the States, and everything was planned. And then obviously the world fell off its axis, and so it was curtailed. We managed to get one tour in, but we all got home, which was great. Yeah.
Now, we started out the interview with the new track "Riding Out the Storm." Ricky, can you tell us where the inspiration came from that song? Because my perspective would be that we're all fighting our own kind of storm. Am I right with that?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and again, it's question more, our own mortality. I recently lost both my parents over the last sort of few years. I've had some friends pass away, way too young in the last couple of years. And, I'm not getting any younger, and it's just questioning, the road behind us is a lot longer than the road in front of us. And it's just really questioning that and seeing what my take is on that. And like you said, your own personal battles and your own personal demons, and trying to come to terms with everything.
Oh, okay. Nice. Now, you got some new members in the band now. You got a guitarist?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
What is it? Christian?
Well, even Christian Martucci, who played on the record, is actually no longer in the band.
Oh, okay. Who's in the band then?
So in the band, we have a new guitar player called Sam Wood, who's just joined.
Okay.
With the pandemic messing up the timeline, Christian Martucci's Corey Taylor sort of right-hand guy. He's in Stone Sour with Corey, and he writes with Corey and Corey's solo stuff. So sadly, our timelines are clashed. Corey's busy. Christian was with him before he was in Black Star Riders, so he had to jump ship and go back to Corey, which is understandable. It happens. Being in a band isn't I always say being in a band isn't a jail sentence. And, we've just had to reshuffle the pack, sadly. It happens, but you take it on the chin, you move on. As long as the songs are good and the intent is still way up there, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Ricky, I was happy to see that Scott Gorham and Jimmy DeGrasso are going to join you on some of these dates on this European tour. How's it feel doing some dates with those two guys again?
It's killer. We already did a show. We did a show in the UK in December. We headlined a festival over there. It was great to have those guys back. Listen, the door is always wide open for Scott. Scott's, he's a legend, as we all know, and he'll be dipping in and out of Black Star Riders over the next few years, I'm sure. I mean, I don't think he's ever really going to close the door on it fully. I have a great relationship with Scott. Obviously, I'm in Thin Lizzy with him, which is amazing, and it's just wonderful. And Jimmy's such a great drummer. So it was lovely to have. It is lovely, and it's lovely to have those guys back involved.
Cool.
So on the rest, are there plans for more tours after this UK tour?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do any with that 10th anniversary lineup. I'm not sure about that. I think what we'd like to do is really get out and promote the new record with everybody that played on the album, with Zach on drums and Sam Wood, our new guitar player. So the plan is to really get out and play as much as we can with that.
Okay.
You know, Ricky, the last time you and I spoke, you were promoting your solo release, When Life Was Hard and Fast.
Yeah.
Good album.
Which I love that album.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My question is, when you're writing a song, how do you differentiate between it being a Black Star Writers song or possible solo release?
I know, right? I don't know. You just know. I mean, that's a terrible answer to a great question. You just know, because usually I'll write something and I'll go like, I can't hear the guys in BSR playing on this. I think we could take this to a level. And then sometimes you're writing something, you kind of just go, no, this one's for me. I think I can finish this myself, and it's got more of a sort of a Ricky-Warwick solo vibe to it. So you just kind of know. And I think 9 times out of 10 I get it right. I've definitely goofed up a couple of times. I've had a raised eyebrow from Scott Gorham on the tour bus when I played him a solo track, and he's gone, really? That could have been one of ours.
I was going to say, anybody ever got pissed because you
recorded
something?
Scott does this great thing where he raises the right eyebrow, and you kind of go, oh no, I'm in trouble. I've pissed off Gorham. What? Oh no, shit. How am I going to get out of this? But he laughed about it, and I think they understand. Which is kudos to those guys, that the quality of the stuff that I'm, nothing's going to take away from each thing. Like, I'm not bringing in substandard quality songs to Black Star Writers because I'm using them all on my own solo stuff. I think, I would never let that be the case anyway, but they understand that that's never going to happen,
Yeah, definitely. Now, you recorded a lot of it in Los Angeles on Dave Grohl's on that Sound, what is that? Sound City. Yeah, I saw that documentary on that.
Studio 606,
huge console, man.
Oh, man, yeah.
How cool was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It's one of the best sounding live rooms I've ever been in my career. I mean, the drum sound in that room is incredible. There's so much history in that desk. I mean, you can see all the autograph people have signed the old Neve desk, like Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, and everybody that recorded on that desk. And there's so much history ingrained in it. And like I said, the room in Dave's studio is just phenomenal sounding. So real buzz, real honor, a lot of fun working in there. The people that look after the studio for Dave couldn't do enough for us either. And just the whole vibe of it was amazing.
Awesome. Very cool. Ricky, I've always wanted to ask you this in past interviews when we've talked, and I never get to the question. One of my favorite songs that you've done is a song called When Patsy Cline Was Crazy.
Right.
Please. Yeah. Now, what can you tell me about that song? Because she is like my favorite female vocalist of all time.
Wow. One of mine, too, made me say that. I'll tell you a story. There's a couple of stories about that song. I actually got to play that song acoustically for Patsy Cline's daughter in the Patsy Cline Museum in Nashville.
Cool.
And it was one of the most surreal, terrifying moments of my career. And she absolutely loved it. There's an old jukebox in the museum there, and I stood in front of it. It was a documentary that BBC TV were shooting. And I did it and played it for her, and that was just a real special moment. But I wrote that song with a good buddy of mine from Belfast in Ireland called Sam Robinson, and we both grew up together. We're both the same age. And we just wrote it about growing up in Northern Ireland when we were kids in the 70s and 80s. Country music is huge in Ireland. It's massive. And our fathers would listen to, Saturday night, the whiskey would come out, the cards would come out, and it was Patsy Cline. It was, Johnny Cash. It was Jim Reeves. It was all those old country artists that, they'd listen to. And we grew up listening to those records. That was our first introduction to music. So we really wrote about our childhood and growing up with those artists playing, and again about the relationships that we had with our fathers, because they were quite different. Sam's was different to mine, and that all sort of was in the context of the song. But I'm really glad you picked up on that because it's one of my favorite songs too.
Nice. Now you got Joe Elliott from Def Leppard on one of the songs here on Better Than Saturday Night. And you can actually hear him. You can tell it's him. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. How'd that happen?
I'm very lucky. Joe's been a friend for almost 30 years. And we're very close. I was Joe's best man at his wedding.
Nice.
Back in the early 2000s, Def Leppard actually took me on tour with them, solo acoustic all over the States, and I opened for them. And Joe's actually produced my first 2 solo records. So there's a lot of connection there. He's been a great friend, a great ally, and a great mentor to me over the years. And he's always checking out what we're up to, and I was like, bro, you got to sing on a song. He's like, send it over. And that's it. And,
Nice.
Our voices blend really well together, which is great. And Joe's just such a fan. He's just enthusiastic. He's just a good guy, and I'm really happy to have him on our side.
Now, have you guys ever toured together?
Yeah, we have. That's what I was saying. We toured.
Yeah.
I toured for almost a year back in 2003, 2004, solo, opening up for Leopard all over the world. And then Black Star Riders have actually opened for Leopard in the UK about 6 years ago. We did an arena tour, and we opened with opened for Leopard on that. Yeah.
Ricky, I want to ask you. I ask a lot of artists this question that play a lot in Europe. There's a big difference between the crowds in Europe and the crowds here in the States. Do you think, is that a reason? I mean, is it, what is the difference? I mean, because like you guys will play to, 50,000 people in
Sure.
in Europe, and then you come here to the States and you're playing in a small theater. What do you think the difference is?
I don't know, and it's not for the want of trying. It's just some things just don't seem to fly in the States and they'll work in Europe, and I don't really know why that is. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Because it would make things a lot easier, and it's definitely a source of frustration. I love it. Obviously, I live in the United States. I have done for the last 20 years, and nothing would please me more to be able to go out and play to a few thousand people here every night. But unfortunately, we're not in that position, and we can, like you said, we can go to Europe and tour really well and do very well financially, and that funds everything and keeps everything rocking and rolling along. I don't know. I really don't know. We got a great tour with Judas Priest a few years ago in 2018. We went out with those guys, and that was amazing. And then we just couldn't seem to follow it up after that. I mean, we'll try again with this record. I mean, that's all we can do. Sadly, we're at an age now where we just can't do the 26 weeks in a van and a U-Haul around the States anymore. It's just, we're not going to do that with families, with kids, and our bodies just can't take it anymore. But if there's a good bill that we can get on, or a good club tour, that's not too crazy, then absolutely we're all for it.
Nice. Now on the new album, one of my favorite songs is "Crazy Horses." Now, what is that sound? Is that like a slide guitar making that crazy sound in the middle, in the beginning?
Yeah, that's a Osmonds cover, right? You know that, right?
That
song was originally done by the Osmonds.
Oh, no way!
That's why you like it so much.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because I remember
they put that out. I think it's '72, and I mean they wrote it, the whole thing, and they play on it. And I just remember we used to get the Osmonds TV show when I was a kid over in the UK, and I just loved that song, and it resonated with me and stuck with me ever since. And I'm like, one day I'm going to be in a band and we're going to do a cover of that song. And, I played it to the guys, and I'm like, this is killer, let's go do it. So that's really how it all came about.
No way. Nice.
That's awesome. Ricky, with the resurgence of vinyl, everybody's putting their albums out on vinyl. How do you feel about vinyl? Like, Jerry and I love it. We love that deep, rich tone. As an artist, do you prefer vinyl?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's the only way, in my opinion. It's an experience. Music should be an experience. It shouldn't be a click.
Yeah.
It should be an experience. It should be the whole thing. The sleeve, the notes, the lyrics, everything that goes into it. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It isn't a friggin' soundbite or something. It's more than that. And the artists, as we all know, put their heart and soul into making that music, and it should be appreciated that way. And that's the only way for me that that I personally like listening to music. I like the whole concept of the album, the whole thing, and it should be listened to from start to finish, the way that the artists sequenced that record, because they've done that for a reason.
Yeah. Nice.
So I'm all for it, and I think we've done like 4 different colored vinyls and stuff for this record.
I've got one of theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this has been my favorite Christmas because I bought my granddaughter a bunch of vinyl because she's into vinyl now. So I had to get her all the classics that I didn't, and I gave her all my duplicates. Now she's got a nice collection.
And it's amazing to see that vinyl sales picking up. I mean, I'm just about to embark on a 2-week record store tour in the UK prior to the record coming out. I'm playing acoustic in each store as well. I'm doing a little acoustic set, and then obviously meeting the people. And it's all around the record stores in the UK, and it's just wonderful. I'm really, really excited about that. Because, guys of our age, we know it was such a a community thing to get up. And for me personally, I would get up and get the bus into my hometown just outside Belfast in Ireland, go into the record store, go through all the records, take a chance on an album that I'd maybe only heard the one track off on the radio, but then you'd hang out with it, like-minded people in that store, and it'd be a whole day out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A whole day out, and it was an experience, and it was almost like a religion. You go to the coffee shop and talk about what you bought and read the sleeve notes, and it's just, and I feel sad that kids don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, does artists make more money when people buy the vinyl instead of clicking on the streaming thing? Good, because like when I like an artist and I like their album, I buy the vinyl.
No, thank you. No, we hardly make anything off streaming. It's corrupt.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wrong that they're getting away with it. I mean, our stuff is up there because we need it to be up there. We're not in a situation where we can just go, I'm going to take my stuff off streaming. We need all the revenue we can get, sadly. Mm-hmm. But the people that are creating the music, there's a lot of people getting rich off artists and musicians that have nothing to do with music.
Yep.
And don't care. And in any other industry, people will be up in arms and it'd be action taken, but it just continues to go on and on and on. And you're seeing the artists now aren't able to tour, they're not able to make records, and this is going to be the knockback effect. It's going to sort of trickle down unless something is addressed, that people won't be able to create music full time.
Wow, that's sad.
Man.
Yeah.
So now we open the interview with riding out the storm. Now, do you think that song could have benefited maybe from adding some cowbell?
You can never have enough cowbell, right?
That's what I was thinking, man, right at the beginning.
Oh, look at
that. We always add cowbell to our interviews to jump them up a little bit.
I fought to get cowbell on a track called Better Than Saturday Night on the new record. I really wanted it on there. The other guys wouldn't go for it. So,
man.
I did try.
Good, thanks.
Hey, Ricky,
appreciate it.
Where is the best place for our listeners to keep up with Black Star Riders, you personally, online?
Yeah, social media, all over it. Facebook, just type in Ricky Warwick, Black Star Riders, all the pages will come up. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and then all the streaming services as well, obviously. And then you can go to Earache, our record label, earache.com, type in Black Star Riders in there, and you can buy all the vinyl and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Outstanding. Well, we're going to play Crazy Horses out of this interview because Jerry loves that song so much.
And all our Osmond fans.
Yeah.
I've changed your whole perception of it now. You'll never see the song in the same light again.
I want to hear One Bad Apple on the next one, Ricky. I want to hear another Osmond's tune.
There you go.
but I'll tell you what.
Puppy Love.
Yeah, or
Donnie
we might even do a David Cassidy song.
There
go
you
away,
go.
Little girl.
Yeah.
So, Ricky, we want to thank you once again for taking time to come out on the show, and you're always welcome here anytime on Rock and Metal Revival.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Be safe, and thanks for all the support.